This is a practice slash little workshop slash contemplation slash lecture, and you don't need to practice. So feel free to just hang out, chill on your couch, or feel free to actually go into yin poses. And I even invite you to find your own yin sequence. As long as you don't feel pain, everything is all right. Just relax the body and see if you can find something I give you in your direct experience as well. And I will also do some suggestions what kind of pose you can do, but it's really not so much about now the perfect sequence. It's much more about how what I give you as an impulse, how does that work with you and in you, and where does it point you and lead you towards. And also feel free to interact with us, write in a chat, or even unmute yourself. Or probably better in this session to only write in a chat, because if someone is in deep relaxation, we want to leave them there. The talk is about, or workshop is about, the 4 dimensions of yin yoga. That is something I just came up with, not just, but a while ago. And I'm doing an online course, providing it. It will be online soon, just in German for the first step, hopefully soon in English. And so I was diving myself into that topics and looking at yin yoga, at practice, at life from different perspectives, 4 dimensions from 4 different gross perspectives. And I want you to experience and explore them together with me in this session. So I will suggest things and then let's see how they work out for you. To begin with, find any comfortable seat. Close the eyes down and let's just ground ourselves, connect with the breath. Connect with the present moment, whatever that means for you. Becoming aware of that current experience you are having. Sounds around you, temperature, atmosphere, smell, taste, sense of body. Take one more breath, and with the exhale, introduce relaxation. Soften the whole body, maybe even like crunch the back, like really soften completely. You don't need to hold to look good or anything. Making friends with whatever is present at this moment of time. Good. So as I said, please use your intuition to roll on the floor, to find poses you fancy your body like wants intuitively. And I give you a suggestion, but really feel free to not follow me. Sometimes, really often actually in life, we are used to someone tells us what to do and then we just do it. And that's okay, that's fine, but it's also nice to sometimes being told something and not do it. So a good first posture could be a child's pose. So if you fancy child's pose, find your form, your shape of child's pose. We just spoke about like what intention means, and then I asked, because I'm not native English, I asked Sally, is it actually the same like tension, like intention, like in inaudible, like something without tension. She said, no, that's written differently, but actually it is very similar to the meaning of not having any tension to what you do, or no resistance to what spontaneously just arises. So with that intention of not getting anywhere specific, melt into that shape of your body, melt into that state of your mind, melt into that present moment, even if there's a lot of mind chattering. And feel free to adapt at any point, like follow your intuitive flow of movement and shape and everything. Let me get started about the 4 dimensions. What are those 4? Number one is the body, the dimension of the body. Exploring the body. Number 2 is the mind, exploring everything in the realm of mind. Number 3 is the energy, everything that is vibration. And the 4th dimension is awareness itself. And in the next minutes, we will look a little bit more in detail what I mean with that and what you probably can experience in that realm. And as I said in the beginning, I just came up with those 4. You could easily like put 5 or 3 or how many you ever find for yourself. I just like to dissect in those 4. Let's go to the first one, the body. So let's just bring a question into the room. What is body? And stay for a moment with just the question. What is body? You probably see already the tendency of the mind to find an answer. Do you? The beauty is a question will get answered in one way or the other anyway. Sometimes it's nice to not find the first answer from the mind and just leave the question open in the space. What is body? Let's explore body a little bit more intellectually as well as from experience. So if you have your eyes closed, what do you feel? That what you feel we normally label as sensations. But how does it actually feel? What is a sensation? The answer now is not a word or name or concept. The answer is you feeling sensation. So ask yourself the question, is body something rigid, something with big shape, or is body sensations popping up, disappearing? And here comes the follow-up question. Are sensations rigid? Are there matter? Are they fluid, impermanent? Are they actually real? And I just want to remind you, come out of the pose whenever you feel it's time to come out of the pose. I will not tell you exactly to come out. You take responsibility of your experience now and your body and this session. Maybe find a different funny shape of the child's pose or a completely different pose. And when you close the eyes down and you still feel into sensations of body, please tell me or prove for yourself what is between sensations. Between in time and between in space. Is there anything? Or is there emptiness? And we're having just some words for it, and those words are just pointers. They are not exactly describing. Or maybe emptiness is potential for you. Maybe emptiness is fullness. Maybe emptiness is divinity. Maybe your rational mind just says, well, I just don't have any feeling there, but there must be flesh or blood or bone. So it really depends from which perspective we look at the body, how we experience body. You'll probably come out of a pose if you're already in this pose for that long. Find a neutral one, just lying down on the back, and open the eyes. Look at your body. In my experience, this is a whole completely different plane of existence, visual input, visual field. Body feels just completely different in this realm of visual input. I mean, has it anything to do with what you feel? Maybe you say, well, but when I concentrate on my thumb and I look at my thumb, I can feel sensations at the same spot where I see my thumb. And I ask you, is that true? Is the sensation actually at the same spot? Did you just learn that it's at the same spot? Or is it at the same spot? I don't know. Figure it out. And it leads us to another question. When you say, I feel it, who's the I? And where is the I? To state it differently, if you feel something in your in your thumb, where are you when you feel it at the thumb? Are you sitting in the brain? Is there signals sent to the brain of your thumb? So your thumb is not you actually? Then where is you? Is that in the center of the brain? Is that a little part of the brain? Is that a whole brain? Or are you feeling a sensation because consciousness is at the thumb? Maybe you come into the next pose. I love the firefly. Let's go to firefly first. Open the legs and just fold forward. We stay with one more question at the body, transitioning slowly to the mind. So close the eyes down, feel into one body part, feel sensations. And ask yourself the question, does consciousness, your experience, sits in the body or in a specific part of the body? Can you go out of consciousness? Does consciousness is being boundless everywhere at the same time? You might say, I just feel what is inside my skin. But well, open your eyes and look at something. Do you experience something outside of your skin? I would say yes, you can see things, you can touch things. Just a different level of experience, different way, a different sense. It doesn't mean it's outside of your awareness, of your consciousness. I'm just sharing my thoughts, my experiences. See where it points you towards. We're already shifting towards the second dimension, the mind. Maybe you have been in my class yesterday, but ask yourself this question. Where are your thoughts? Where does your thoughts arise? From where does your thoughts come? Are your thoughts having a location? Observe it in your direct experience. Are they sitting in the brain? And do you have control over what you think? Can you actually create a thought that is from your control? Maybe slowly change the pose. Maybe find your way onto a neutral, or maybe stay. Maybe find a variation. Thoughts. Who's owning the thoughts? Who actually owns the thoughts? Is it really you that creates the thoughts, or are you more a kind of a witness, a space that holds the thoughts, that sees and witnesses the thoughts? What is behind this teaching is that you are not the creator of your thoughts, even if you wish. Thoughts arising spontaneously, and you can stir them towards directions, but they are just coming, and they're just going whenever they want. Who would be to blame for your thoughts? It's for sure not you. Another beautiful posture is melting heart. Maybe you go into melting heart, maybe not. Maybe you just keep chilling on your couch. So if you are not the one that creates the thoughts, then it really doesn't make sense to blame yourself for good thoughts, for bad thoughts. Mostly we blame for bad thoughts. Or to be proud of good thoughts. Same with the emotions. Let's take an example. Bring a nice memory into your mind where you felt content, happy, or where you found beauty or love. Example, you could imagine a sunset at the beach. I just had a walk before this class, saw the sun, the waves. It felt really nice. Ask yourself, is that beauty, that love you feel, is that inherent in the sunset? Is the sea and the sand, is that the thing that makes you feel beauty or happiness? There are some objects, things, like a sunset, that are attracting us a little bit more of feeling pleasurable experiences. And there's some others, they're attracting more aversion. That's for sure, yes. But is the thing itself the beauty? Is the sunset itself already beauty? Where does the beauty sit? Let me point towards something. If you melt the distance between you and the beautiful experience you have, in this case the sunset, if you melt the resistance, if you melt the distance between the sunset and you just become that experience of sunset. That is the beauty. You become the sunset. When you melt that resistance, suddenly beauty and love and happiness arises. Maybe slowly come out of the pose. Find a neutral one in the belly or on the back. So what happens when we create a distance, we creating a separate self, an entity that is separate from what we experience. And that, by the way, is a non-dual teaching you're listening to from me. And that's what the mind is about. The mind is the separate self, that distance we create to create an identity that is separate from what we experience outside. And that is okay. That lets us reflect on ourselves. That lets us take a perspective, a vantage point, so we can experience different things, and that's all good. But why not have the choice and understand how universe works? There's another beautiful pose which I like very much, that's called banana. You take the shape of a banana. Bring both hands to the left over your head, bring both feet to the left and stretch the side body on the right. So what the mind does is to find words and labels for everything we experience in life, and that is fine because it really helps us to be a little bit quicker in navigating through life. But sometimes when we only in this mode, we cannot see beauty anymore. We cannot see love. Really, if you love someone, what are you then? You are close to them. You have no distance. You feel like one. The more distance you have, the more you're in trouble in your relationship, isn't it? So with the mind, let's create the option for us, for ourselves, to melt the resistance and distance between our experience and us. It's just one perspective. In very simple words, that would mean just don't believe the mind always, or the story of the mind. Just listen to it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting story, mind. Thank you for that. Today I don't go for it. I don't buy it. Oh, I'm ugly? Yeah, well, interesting story. You told me that before. Today I'm not going for it. I'm beautiful. Yes, that sounds nice, but today I just, no. I'm beyond words. Today I am just me. I'm just that beautiful sunset. And where does the sunset happen if there's no distance anymore? Tell me, is it somewhere outside or is it within? Where does the sunset happen? Where is the beauty? Where's the love? And that makes life full, rich in experience. Even if we look from a very physics perspective, it's just light bouncing into our eyes, which our brain constructs a reality telling us that's how a sunset looks like. It's just vibration. Even light is just a vibration. It's just a frequency, a specific frequency vibrating, and we make a sunset out of it. Incredible, actually. If the beauty would be in the sunset itself, you could go every time and you would have a good experience at the sunset, and everybody that goes to that sunset would have a good experience. Is that true? Slowly find a neutral pose. Don't believe me a word. Explore it for yourself. A good teacher never wants you to believe. Sometimes a little bit trust is good to start walking the path, but you never need to believe blindly. Sometimes it's wise to follow ideas, but they need to feel right. They need to feel true to really test if that's the case for you. Finding banana on the other side, or any other shape. Intention, like follow your intuitive flow of body floating into another shape without any tension, without resistance. And slowly switching dimensions to energy. Let's bring this question in the mind. What is energy? Okay, let me rephrase that. How would energy feel? How would you feel if there would be only energy? You are free floating in a universe made out of pure energy. In Sanskrit, the yogis call energy prana or shakti or prana shakti, the life-giving energy. How does energy look for you? How does it move? Is it stagnant? Is it free floating? Is it vibrating? What's the quality of energy? How can you relate? If you pay close attention to your body, is there anything that doesn't move, although you're completely in silence and stillness? Without making stories, without letting your mind tell you, just feel, is there anything stagnant? Okay, let's invite the mind to look into physics. The smallest particle we can observe, isn't it an atom? Like or the neutrinos or whatever they're called? How they are structured. They're structured, there's like a core and there's a little electron circling around. I think 99% is space of it, pure space, and then there's movement, vibration, every little particle of this universe. Your cells, I think you have about 30 trillion cells. I never know in English, maybe it's billion. Another 30 billion little helpers, bacteria. They're all moving all the time. When you have an emotion, is that flow? Everything in the universe is constantly in motion, vibrating, and it's creating infinite flavors. And if we look from a tantric, non-dual perspective, there's just consciousness taking a vantage point, looking through your eyes, and experience that ecstatic flow of energy, enjoying every movement. Gently roll to one side and find a fish pose. Just placing a bolster under your back and opening the front body with a gentle stretch, or any other pose. Hands can go overhead or on your body or to the side, anywhere you like. Feet extended or sole of the feet together. Bring your awareness to the sounds you can hear. Maybe you're in a very still environment and you can hear your own body sounds. Maybe you're in a noisy environment and listen to the sounds around you. What is the quality of sound? You can even close your ears and breathe and listen to that. If your mind still has a little bit problems or issues to get its head around the idea of everything is in vibration and everything is energy expressing in different forms. How about this teaching? Everything is sound. Just listen to it. And ask yourself the question, does vibration, does sound have borders? Or is it just free floating in space? There's another teaching. Remember a dream you had, a vivid dream. How real did it feel to be in that dream? And sometimes we have those dreams where we can fly or do funny things that are not possible in this world, apparently. What's the difference between that dream and real world? We wake up and we have a continuous flow of self, identity. But the experience itself feels really, really real in dreams and really, really similar. But a dream is not reality, it's just a dream. But it feels so, so real. So how about reality could be the same? Just because it's continuous, we think it must be real. And what is a dream? It's vibration, brain waves. We just learn to experience the world how it is on this level. We can unlearn and rewire and see everything in vibration. Maybe that's just a sense in the background, and that's okay. A sense of unity with everything. You can stay a little longer in this pose. You can find your Shavasana. And we're going to the fourth dimension. Awareness itself. Find a comfortable position on the back if you like to. Or maybe just sit in a meditation seat, whatever you prefer. The fourth dimension, awareness or consciousness or essence nature. And everything I can say is really like not getting it, because I use language, and language is not enough to explain it. But it is very simple because it's always with you. So rather than trying to find it or do it, you simply drop out and find a place of undoing. That's the urge of awareness. It will find its way to you. Because that's what we fundamentally are. That's what happens when there's no distance anymore to experience itself. Just being with what is simply means acknowledging and knowing what is. And whether that's thoughts, that's fine. Or whether that's sounds or sensations, or it really doesn't matter, because everything is within that awareness. Isn't it? Or ask yourself, is there anything outside awareness? Is there something, some border, some edge? See if you can find an edge, an outside of awareness. And we have those different dimensions and senses that help us to see things through or in the field of awareness, to experience life and everything that happens in that field. But it always happens in that field. Just relaxing into it and leaning into simply everything that spontaneously arises, getting this idea and sense of awareness itself that holds all phenomena. Maybe you ask yourself the question, but what is when I sleep? Well, did you have this situation in your life that you just woke up a minute before your alarm clock? Or when you have something important at the next day, you will wake up early enough. Because there is a sense of awareness, of consciousness still present wherever we go, whatever we do, when we sleep, when we are awake. Those are just different states of our conscious awareness. And even when we die, we just change the form of body, change the form of vibration, the flavor of energy. We're still part of that whole, because there's nothing outside that whole consciousness. And discover for yourself, is there anything outside of it? And innately weaved within that is the willingness of consciousness to allow everything. Consciousness doesn't say, this experience we don't want to have. There's this subtle, gentle, loving willingness to just say yes to it. to your worst mood, to the person that yells at you, and to that person that loves you more than everything else, to you feeling yourself feeling loved, yourself feeling neglected. It's all saying a gentle yes to it. Because consciousness loves you with everything you are and will be. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in and just let the teachings land or see what clicks with you, and if nothing, that's fine too. Everybody has different paths or approaches or teachings that click better or later or earlier. As long as you're in touch and contact with yourself, everything will be fine anyway. And feel free to get out of your shavasana or gently get out of your meditation. Let the breath become bigger and maybe give yourself a little stretch. Make a few noises. And the most beautiful thing is as well that there's no rules in consciousness. So whatever we think we should or should not, it's really just made up by us humans. Sometimes it's okay to not behave in the shoulds and shouldn'ts. You should just do what you want. And if you're a little bit in touch with yourself, you will anyway not do harm, because that's not really what we strive for. So you can really express yourself so freely. And I invite you to do that. So probably do any noise that comes out. Thank you very much.